everyone, it's Nicole for Simon Says Stamp with gorgeous backgrounds with the die cut plate, part of the wonderful Bold Summer class kit for Gina K Designs. Today we're going to use the kit components to create two beautiful cards featuring the background plate as well as all of the other products in the kit, but we're going to use them in two different ways. I'm going to start by going ahead and stenciling the florals from the Bold Summer stamp set that is included in the kit or available for individual purchase here at Simon Says Stamp. I'm going to choose some of my flowers, and I already knew for this card background I wanted to create an arch up above my thank you sentiment as well as down below. Almost, but not quite a wreath. Think of it more as that arch as I mentioned. So I am going to stamp this on some of the white cardstock included in the kit, and we're going to stamp it with the black premium dye ink from Simon Says Stamp, this ink cube that you do get in the kit. I'm going to stamp this once along the top edge of my paper, and then without removing the stamps, I am going to rotate the paper and stamp them again. Next, I'm going to use the Simon Says Stamp powder tool to prep the black cardstock also included in this Bold Summer class kit. Using this beautiful thank you sentiment, I am going to stamp this then on the black cardstock with clear embossing ink from Simon Says Stamp, heat emboss with white embossing powder, and then we are going to die cut our greeting with the coordinating Bold Summer Blooms die. It die cuts really nice and tight to the sentiment, so what we're left with is a beautiful white stamped and embossed greeting with this skinny little black outline, and against the white background we're going to be creating, it's going to look absolutely beautiful. That powder tool that we used is going to help ensure that the embossing powder stays mostly on the stamped image and we don't get a bunch of stray embossing powder flakes all over the design. Next, we're going to grab that die, and good news, they are all untabbed, friends, so super easy to just grab them and place them right over your sentiment and die cut. Love this so much. And you can see that it's going to cut out all of those little nooks and crannies around your greeting. Okay, next we are going to stencil all of these beautiful flowers using the ink cubes included in the kit. I love that in the kit you get all of the ink cubes as well as blending brushes. For my yellow flowers, I used Marigold and SHERBET inks. For my leaves, I used the Kelly Green. And we're going to do this for all of the leaves. And I'm showing you here because I did forget to turn my camera on when I did most of my stenciling. So I'm just reenacting basically all of this so you can see exactly what I did for each step. My large pink flower is a combination of petunia and apple inks. I absolutely love these two colors together. Now the inks that you get in the kit are a combination of Gina K Designs and Simon Says Stamp. The perfect combination in this gal's opinion. The center of our little flower there for the pink flower is a little bit of Marigold. Now for our little flower, we are going to do some violet ink. I love this beautiful bluish purple. I think it's so perfect for our card. After we've done the violet ink, we will then use a little bit of the petunia color for the center. You can see how easy it is to use the coordinating stencils included in the kit to color in your flowers. This makes all of us amazing colorists. Now you can combine colors, you can use very soft colors, you could definitely go more monochromatic. The sky is the limit. Have fun with your creating. Next, we're going to take all of those untabbed Bold Summer Blooms dies, just like the sentiment. We're going to tape them in place with a little repositionable tape and run them through the die cutting machine. Because I needed 2 of each of my florals, I wanted to go ahead and tape them all in place, run it through this side, flip my cardstock around because I did do this twice, tape my dies in place again, run it through again, and that's going to give us double the fun for these beautiful florals. We're going to do all of this, and then I'm going to show you how I created this wonderful embossed background with our Bold Summer Blooms plate. This is the main component, I suppose, of both of my cards today because I wanted to show two different ways to use that to create two completely different cards, but yet still using all components from this beautiful kit. Once we have all of our flowers, I'm just laying them out on a background, and then I will flip it around and die cut these all again. Trimming some of the white cardstock in the kit to the same size as my die cut plate, I am going to use the sandwich in my Spellbinders Platinum that creates an embossed image of the die. Using the platform top, I've placed the die face up with the cardstock. I did tape it in place, and I am using the adapter mat and plate to run this through. This is going to ensure that instead of die cutting my cardstock, it's going to emboss it. Most die cut machines will allow you to do this, so definitely follow the manufacturer's instructions for that. Then removing the tape, I'm going to take it out and look at that wonderful textured background. Then I've taken another piece of black cardstock from the kit and I'm going to mat my embossed background on this. We're going to work on the components for the second card, and then we're going to put both of them together at the same time. You can see that I already die cut the black frame using the Bold Summer Blooms plate, and that frame is going to be used to create a shaker card. This time, we do want to decorate the front of our shaker card with some blooms, so I'm picking a couple of flowers and leaves and a sentiment from the Bold Blooms Summer set. Once I have the sentiment that I want to use for my card, it's time to stamp and do a little stenciling. I always like to pre-plan my card before I actually get to that step, and so that was just kind of planning out the flowers, and now we're going to work on the background of our card. Taking all of those same ink cubes that you get in the kit, plus the blending brushes, we're going to do a diagonal rainbow effect, starting with violet, moving to cadet blue, then we're going to go to Kelly green, marigold, sherbet, apple, and petunia. Now, I did find the little tiny round blending brushes didn't work as great as I had hoped. So I did go ahead and go to my stash and grab some bigger blending brushes for this step. There are some larger blending brushes in the kit, and those worked great. I definitely think you're going to need not the tiniest blending brush, but maybe not the biggest either. So this medium size works fantastic. What I really love about doing an ink blend at a diagonal like this is that the seamless blend, if there's any imperfections, they don't really show. I'm going to go ahead and go in and do my inking, kind of that stripe effect, and I can go back and fix that later. And I'm still trying to fix it with my small blending brush, and it's about this point that I'd give up and decide this is not going to work great, so I probably need to use some of my other brushes. Next, we are doing that marigold color, and we're going to blend that into the green. Don't be afraid to go over any of your inking. Pull that color into the previous color. That is what's going to give you the most perfect, seamless results every single time. And again, we're just going to keep going until we have the entire panel colored. This is a great way to showcase all of the beautiful rainbow colors included in the kit, but we're going to make the Bold Summer Blooms die, the plate on the front, the bold black is really going to showcase all of these beautiful ink blended colors. And then instead of the flowers being the main focal, I guess, point, this background definitely takes center stage on this one. Again, we're just working in the sherbet, then we'll work in apple, and finally the petunia color. Now, something to keep in mind, on the finished card, you might be saying, oh my gosh, the blend looks so much prettier than it does here. Yes, as the ink dries, as it absorbs into the cardstock, it is going to smooth out and give you a beautiful finished look. So kind of just stick with it. Don't look at it right away and think, oh my gosh, the ink blending is not looking good. It will. And if you need to, you can always go back in and add a little additional color. I really love this petunia and apple together. So pretty. Okay, so next we do need to create a shaker window. So we're going to take a little bit of acetate and we are going to back the front of our black frame with that. So here is that die cut panel. I'm going to pop all the little bits and pieces out. And this is going to create a super fun, unique shaker window for this card. Shakers are always a good idea, in my opinion. I think they always give you a very fun, interactive design for the recipient. When working with acetate, you can use liquid glue. However, I think that double-sided tape is going to leave you with a lot less mess. So if you can use double-sided tape, I do recommend it. I am framing up the back of my Bold Summer Blooms plate with really thin, like 1/8 of an inch double-sided tape, and then we're going to remove the backing paper and place our acetate right on the back. Some little tweezers or the piercing tool would have been helpful for this. And again, my acetate is just cut to the same size as the panel. There is the window for a shaker. Now we're going to flip it over again, and taking my favorite thin foam adhesive strips from Simon Says Stamp, we are going to frame up the window. It is exactly the same size as the border on this plate, so you definitely want to get it straight, but I found it very easy to do. So we're just going to piecemeal it all together here, framing up this so that our little sequin mix that came in the Gina K Bold Summer Blooms class kit can shake around easily. You can use whatever kind of shaker material you have on hand as well if you want to recreate this look at home. I love the iridescence of this particular sequin mix as it still allows the rainbow of the background to take center stage. I'm going to be really generous with how many I'm placing in here, and even being generous with my shaker material, I still have tons of these left, which is great because we are going to use them for embellishment on both cards. Carefully removing the backing paper from all of the foam adhesive. I kind of like to use my finger, hold down the shaker itself so that none of the material pops up. I'm going to remove the backing paper, take our rainbow background, and we're going to place that right on the back to create that shaker. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful this is. Okay, let's go ahead and put our other card background together now. I cut a piece of the black cardstock a little bit bigger than our embossed background, and using some foam adhesive squares from Simon Says Stamp, we are going to place those on the back of the thank you greeting and pop this up right in the center of our embossed background. This is a great way to give some texture and interest to your background if you don't want to create a die cut background or a shaker background with that die cut plate. You can also achieve this with all kinds of different background dies that you have in your stash. I'm going to add a little glue to the back. You do get Connect glue in your kit, and it actually rolled underneath my die cut machine and I forgot. So you will see me switch to that here in just a minute. Next, we are going to place our largest flower in the center up at the top, and we're going to place it down below. Remember, I am doing an arch up above my thank you greeting and down below my thank you greeting. We're only going to kind of alternate which florals and leaves go on each side. So up at the top, the yellow flower is going to go on the right. And again, I am using foam adhesive to pop up all of these components. We're going to tuck some greenery and leaves into each so that it kind of trails down around our greeting and up around the greeting, depending on which side we're working on. I'm finishing the top first, and then we will move to the bottom so that I know exactly kind of the order to place these. The only thing that really stays in the same position on each is my pink flower, and then I'm just, again, alternating the florals on either side for that added little bit of interest. You'll notice that I'm also overlapping some of my florals on my greeting or placing them underneath to make it a very seamless, beautiful look. These flowers can be used in so many different ways. They're absolutely gorgeous. And with those coordinating stencils that you get in the kit or that you purchase from Simon Says Stamp, you can really make some beautiful, beautiful flowers in any color combination that you love. Okay, so you can see that I alternated that yellow flower, and now we just need to add a couple of more. Now to finish this up, I do want to add some of those little sequins to the centers of my flower as well as scattered around my card base. We are going to glue this entire thing down to a white top fold card base so that it'll be a white border, black border, white embossed background with our florals and greeting. I love, again, these little iridescent sequins as they provide the perfect little pop of sparkle without completely covering up the background color of the center of the large flowers or anything like that. Using the Simon Says Stamp embellishment wand, it makes it easy to pick these up and pop them in place. They are kind of teeny tiny, so I am kind of using my finger to make sure that they lay, the bottom of that cupped sequin lays flat with my card. We'll just add a couple more here, and then we will move on to finishing up the second card. And I always like adding just those little dabs of glue, and this little touch of sparkle throughout the card design adds interest to this simple but elegant and beautiful card. You could swap out any of the other sentiments in this Bold Bloom Summer stamp set. If you need a hello friend or a happy birthday card, you could easily use any of the other sentiments in this set. And I love that about this card design. Okay, so we are now going to take those flowers that I picked a little bit earlier, and we are going to stamp those with that black Simon Says Stamp ink included in the kit. We're also going to stamp "You Are the Best Friend Ever" greeting from the kit. And this time we're going to use 2 flowers. We're going to use 4 leaf images and this greeting because I don't want to completely cover up the shaker window, but we still want to incorporate these beautiful summer blooms. Then we're going to take our stencil and we are going to stencil our florals. I decided for these that I want to stencil the largest flower in that same petunia and apple ink color combination from the first card. Using the blending brushes and ink cubes that you got in the kit, we are going to just swirl that around and add in the petunia color first. Then we're going to take a little bit of the apple and we are going to ink closest to the center of the flower with a little bit of that apple color. So we have the pink-red petals. For the flower center this time, we're going to use a little marigold. And finally, we're going to finish, I think maybe I just used my blending brush with the apple ink for the flower center on this one. It's going to give you a little bit of a orangey red vibe. Perfect. Then for the smaller flower, we're going to go with some yellows. This time, we're going to use marigold, sherbet, apple, and then we're going to go ahead and do all of our green leaves. And this time I'm actually going to combine 2 colors for these. I love that there's all of these layering pieces for these flowers. And these are actually 2 flowers I did not use on the first card. And we're going to go back to apple for the center. Now for the leaves, we are going to use a combination of the Gina K Kelly Green and the Gina K Cadet Blue. We're going to go in with Kelly Green first, and then we're going to blend just towards the base of each leaf with a little bit of the Cadet Blue. This is going to serve to not really change the color of the leaves to blue, but give them a little bit of a darker look down near the base of each leaf. And we're going to do this for all 4 images. Then I'm going to take the coordinating dies, die cut the greeting, the 2 flowers, and those 4 leaves so that we can finish putting together our second card design. Just like before, I'm going to tape all of my dies in place with some temporary adhesive. And then we will run them through all at one time. So I decided my petals of my yellow flower needed a little additional sherbet before I die cut. And now I've got my Connect glue and all of my images. Look how gorgeous these florals are going to look against this fun shaker window. The inks in the background have also kind of absorbed into the cardstock, and you can see that the seamless blend in the background is a lot more evident now that that ink has dried. Popping up everything with foam adhesive again on this window, we are going to start with our greeting kind of in the upper half or just past the upper half on our shaker window, and we're going to pop this in place. This time, instead of doing the white text on the black cardstock, we did black text on white cardstock so that it really stands out against the black die cutting of that bold summer plate. Then right down there in the right corner of our greeting, kind of tucked underneath, we're going to place our largest flower. We're going to tuck the second flower there underneath the pink one, and then we're going to tuck in our greenery all around to finish it off. Even with our sentiment florals and all of the greenery, it still doesn't detract or take away from the beautiful background of this card. Instead, it just is a beautiful accent for it. I've popped everything up on the window again with foam squares just to give it that little bit of added dimension away from the window of the design. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And just like we did for the first card, we are going to go ahead and go in with those clear little cupped sequins. We're going to add 2 of those to the flower center. We'll add a few additional ones to the window of the shaker card. I'm going to add a little bit of extra Connect glue underneath my floral here and use my handy dandy Simon Says stamp tweezers to hold that in place. Now I've got my 2 white top fold card bases from Simon Says Stamp, and I am going to glue each of these to these card bases to finish it up. I love the bold black and white look with all of the happy bright colors from this Bold Summer Blooms kit. We're going to grab that embellishment wand again, and using the embellishment wand with our cupped sequins, we'll add just a few of additional sequins to that second card to finish it up. So 2 completely different looks using all of the same components. I hope this has inspired you to maybe use your background die cutting plates in a couple of different fun and interesting ways. You can also use them to die cut. You could do an inlay design. You could just use it as a tone-on-tone die cut panel for your background or a contrast die cut panel for your background. The sky is the limit. Have fun with your Gina K Bold Blooms products and class kit. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this video featuring 2 brand new cards with the Bold Blooms Summer Kit. And definitely check out the Simon Says Stamp channel for more inspiration. The supplies I use to create my cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube for your convenience. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!
I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.